Gracious good evening, sports fans, and welcome once again to Biscuit in the Basket YouTube Network. My name is Joey Sutherlin, and for about the next hour and a half, I'm going to be keeping you company here as we get set for our first stream of the 2024 conference season, OK Red conference season. Today's matchup will feature the Falcons of East Kentwood and our friends, the Buccaneers of Grand Haven. All right, we are set. This should be a good one as two excellent coaches and a whole bunch of remarkable swimmers here. And I'm really excited to be bringing you the action here today. And thank you for joining us here. And if you enjoy what we're presenting to you, please make sure that you not only click the like button, but subscribe. This is the worst kept secret in North America. I am retiring soon, and for me to continue to do this, I'm going to need. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. Let me take a quick commercial. All right, getting set for this first meet. Right now, this is I believe we're only going to have one heat here of the medley relay. And I'm waiting. Chris, will you go to Brandon and grab me the heat sheet? He hadn't printed out the heat sheet for me yet. All right. I can tell you, though, in lane number 2, it's the Grand Haven C. And lane number 3, it's the East Kentwood B. Lane number 4 is the Grand Haven A. Lane number 5 is the East Kentwood A. Lane number 6 is the Grand Haven B. Lane number 7 is the Falcons C. And lane number 8, the only D we have relay, and that's Grand Haven. All right, as you can see now, we are into the breaststroke portion. It looks like the Falcons have a small lead. It's getting close, though, as they get ready to exchange into the butterflyers. And there's the wall, and actually it's Grand Haven in the lead at 58.50 to 58.60 for the Falcons as they're now into the butterfly. Falcons look like they have partially regained the lead. And now it's actually up to about a body length as we're getting into the anchor swimmers. This will be the first anchor swim here for Gabriel Pizarro, the Falcon phenom, as East Kentwood is on top right now as we're going into the final flip turn. On their way home, East Kentwood up by about a body length. This is going to be real interesting here. I can't wait to see this time. Inside the flag, about to hit the wall, and East Kentwood takes it. 146.27 with a 22.83. Are you kidding me? Holy guacamole, Batman. Gabriela Pizarro, the Italian stud, has come through again. This is a guy, folks, I'm not exaggerating. He had never swam on the competitive side. He was just a water polo player, and he just pulled off a 28.83. 146.27. Yeah, wow. That's a Miska cut at least. Wow. And now we're getting ready for our first individual event, and this will be the 200-yard freestyle. We are going to have one heat of this. It'll be Marcus Finkbeiner is in lane number 1 for the Falcons. Elliot Hauser-Bryden is in lane number 2 for Grand Haven. Andrew Callahan is in lane number 3. Owen Cucci is in lane number 4 for Grand Haven. Abel Gomez-Romo is in lane 5 for the Falcons. Connor Howard is in lane 6. Shane Fandrich is in lane 7. And Liam Plemon is in lane 8 for Grand Haven. At the first 50, it is a virtual tie between Owen Cucci and Abel Gomez-Romo as they're getting ready to come up on the third flip turn. Well, actually, technically, that'll be 1, 2. Yeah, it is the third flip turn. Coming up, though, on the halfway mark. Looks like a slight advantage now for Gomez Romo, the senior for the Falcons. He's going to hit the wall at 55.92. On his heels is Cucci at 56.84 and Callahan at 58.57. Coming up on the 125-yard mark. It is still very close between Cucci and Gomez Romo. In fact, I think on this 50, Owen Cucci has made a little bit a cut into the deficit here. Coming up on the last 50, that was a 31 for Gomez Romo and a 30.94. So this is really close. They're within a body length of each other. Let's see who's got enough left in the zippity-doo-dah. Coming up on the last flip turn here, it is Gomez Romo, but his lead is down to, actually now I would say it's about a virtual dead heat. And Cucci looks like he's taking the lead. And coming up on his heels, holy cow, where is Connor Howard coming from? And it's going to be Connor Howard who wins it. And wow, sneaks up out of nowhere. He goes 157.34. Second place is Cucci, so it's 1-2 for the Buccaneers. And then 3-4 will go Abel Gomez Romo at 158.22, 200.75 for Callahan. Fifth place, Shane Fandrich, 202. That, my friends, is a crazy. What a remarkable finish out of Connor Howard. He was in third, maybe fourth place for most of it, and then he just exploded at the end. Congratulations. All right, now we are into the 200-yard, or excuse me, yeah, the 200-yard IM. Each swimmer will swim. Will swim 50 of the 4 strokes. Unlike the medley relay, this one starts out with the. There we go. Let's take a look at who we got. Christian Perez-Lisse is in lane number 1 for the Falcons. Will Boyer is in lane number 2 for Grand Haven. Chase Sutherlin, lane number 3 for the Falcons. Levi Ruster is in lane number 4. Teague Westra is in lane number 5. Braylon Garland is in lane 6. Mykoi Christensen is in lane 7. And Val Miller is in lane 8 for Grand Haven. Remember, Grand Haven will be in the even lanes. The Falcons will be in the odd lanes. Teague is in first place, thank you, at the end of the first 50 with a 26. Second place and third are almost virtually tied right now as we're now into the backstroke. Teague Westra, though, with a comfortable lead right now coming up on the halfway mark as they're finishing up the backstroke. And now the battle really is for second place. I do not have seed times for anybody, as it is about to transition from the backstroke into the breaststroke. This is where things really get interesting, because you can tell who are the better breaststrokers, and it's a full 50 of it. And yeah, right there, you can definitely see those who have a stronger pullout. In fact, it looks like right now Ruster is cutting into Sutherlin's advantage as they come on the last turn for the breaststroke, as we'll get ready to go into the front. And it actually looks like we have a change in second place. Looks like Ruster has overcome Sutherlin, as we still have the 50 free to go. And actually, he's cutting into Teague Westra. They're coming up at the 139.13 is Westra, 140 and then 142. So about a second and a half lead as they come into the freestyle. Who's got enough left in the tank? It is right now a solid first, second, third. You can see about the same differential between the three. At the flip turn, just under the 2-minute mark, coming home. And Teague's looking a little fatigued. Does he got enough to hold him off? And he will, and he'll hit the wall at 2:11.40, 2:12.42 for Ruster, 2:14.68 for Sutherlin. That's first, second, third. Who's going to get fourth place? It will be Braylon Garland. Fifth place will go to Will Boyer. Sixth place, it looks like it's going to be Miller, as you can see on your screen. Seventh place is Perez-Lisse, and then eighth place is Mykoi Christensen. But 6 of the 8 were personal bests, so everybody's going to be happy about that one. That's going to bring us into our most multiple heat event we have tonight. This is going to be the 50-yard freestyle. We will have 3 heats of it. In the first heat, 3 of the 4 swimmers are from Grand Haven. In lane number 3, it's going to be Chase Dusterwinkle. And lane number 4, also from the Buccaneers, Carter Reeves. And lane number 5, it's Ahmed Elkwad from Kentwood. And finally, Akeem Moore is in lane number 6 for Grand Haven. We might have had a deke in the previous. I'm not 100% sure here, folks. I'll have to get back to you on that one. As now they're making their way up. Again, this is just a down and back, a 50-yard freestyle. And they're off. All right. Coming up at the halfway mark, the one and only turn. That looks like lane 4 is going to have the lead. Carter Reeves. And then it's a pretty good battle there for second. And taking the first heat with a time of 33:58 is Carter Reeves. Congratulations. I don't know if you heard me, but once again, I want to congratulate Teague Westra, who took the 200-yard IM. And before that, it was Connor Howard winning the 200-yard freestyle. Now we're coming up on heat number 2 here of the 50 free. It'll be Gus Purton in lane number 1 for the Falcons. Soren Bolton is in lane number 2 for the Bucs. Alpha Kappa's in lane number 3 for EK. Brandon Klingensmith is in lane number 4 for the Bucs. Kelvin Tron is in lane number 5 for EK. Cooper Lyro is in lane number 6 for Grand Haven. And finally, it's Benetti Conda is in lane number 7 for the Falcons. They're underway. Down and back, here we come. And coming up, about to hit. And congratulations that time to Soren Bolton, who goes at 28:67 to win the second heat. All right, we're getting ready for the championship heat here. It's going to be Drew Gehrink, the freshman for the Falcons, in lane number 1. Liam Deaton is in lane number 2, the freshman from Grand Haven. Darius Nassaup is in lane number 3 for the Falcons, the sophomore. Trayson Johnson is in lane number 4 for Grand Haven, the junior. Gabriel Pissarro is in lane number 5 for the Falcons. Luke Ratke is in lane number 6 for Grand Haven. Logan Patrick is in lane 7. And Carson Tidoff is in lane 8. Coming up at the halfway mark at about 11.5 second mark. And now it's the battle coming back. It's pretty close. I would say Pissarro with a slight lead in lane number 5. He's opening it up right now. He's at the 20 seconds, 21, 22. He hits 23:56. Good googly moogly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is 0.2 of a second off of a Miska cut already. Wow. Congratulations, Gabriel Pissarro. You, my friend, have won the 50-yard freestyle, just ahead of our friend from Grand Haven, Trayson Johnson, the junior. All right, we're going to transition in here into diving. I will have to make my adjustment here. And we'll get ready for that. We have just a couple moments here. All right. All right, folks, with that, I had better take care of my obligations here, one of which is, as part of the broadcast, we must play This Week in High School Sports by the MHSAA. Let me take care of that right now. All right, folks, I'll be right back with you. Keep it here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network.
Coaching records continue to fall, this time on the ice, and some good news when it comes to the number of registered officials. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. No one has coached more Michigan high school hockey teams to victory than Doug Toller. The head coach of the Genesee Generals won his 630th game during the winter break, topping the previous high of 629 set by Trenton's Mike Turner. Toller started his career in 1979 at Flint Northern. He then coached at Grand Blanc for 10 years before moving to Davison in 1992. Davison is the primary school of a four-school co-op named the Genesee Generals. Flushing, Goodrich, and Swartz Creek are the other schools.
I'm probably the most fortunate hockey coach in the world to have had so many great young men. It's really all about them. They've just put me in a position, I guess, to be here and reap the benefit. But I have to give them a lot of credit for everything that they've done. I love being on the ice and working with the kids and trying to get them to kind of understand the game a little bit better and become better players. And it's also about being better people too, you know, having respect and all the life lessons that go with it.
That was Toller speaking with Miriam Bingham of ABC 12 Sports after the record-breaking victory. Genesee will have another 10 games in the regular season to add to Toller's win total before starting regional play in late February. To see all of the MHSAA's ice hockey records, individual, team, coaching, and playoff, be sure to check out MHSAA.com and click on Ice Hockey. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Arthur Hill Jr. wrestler Michael Baldwin. He captured the Saginaw County Wrestling Invitational title at 165 pounds, the last county wrestling title for Arthur Hill before they merge with Saginaw High next school year. Hancock senior hockey player Sam Roberts, he tallied the winner in a 3-2 victory over the Capital City Capitals. It was Roberts' second goal of the year. And a Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central wrestler Mary Alice Lynch. She recorded her 100th win on the mat with a victory in the SMCC Girls Wrestling Tournament.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, you know, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
If a basketball team has a good post player, you'll usually hear the opposing crowd call for 3 seconds. But what is 3 seconds and when should it be called? A 3-second violation occurs when a player is in the lane for more than 3 seconds, but it's not always that easy. First, a player can leave the lane and then reestablish position, resetting the 3-second clock. To establish position outside the lane, the player must have both feet on the playing surface outside of the lane. It won't reset the count if one foot is outside the lane and the other foot is in the air. Also, during a throw-in or while dribbling, attempting a shot, or rebounding, there is no 3-second count. The count does not start again until the offense has control of the ball in the front court.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Sticking with officiating, for the 3rd year in a row, the number of registered officials in Michigan is up slightly. And while any increase is good news, it still comes after 9 straight years of decline. So while the recent trend is encouraging, there's still a ways to go as a lack of officials puts extra strain on current officials. To help recruit and retain officials, the MHSAA has provided membership in the National Association of Sports Officials. Membership gives officials expanded insurance coverages, access to professional services and development, and a subscription to an MHSAA-focused referee magazine. But there's still a need for more. If you're interested, go to MHSAA.com and click on Officials for more information. Because without officials, it's just practice. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
All right, as you can see, our first dive has taken place. Might have to zoom out a little. And at least temporarily shrink it. All right. Bradley View, who's doing an exhibition here, 102A. Over-rotated slightly, probably about a 2.5. Let's see how the judges score it. 3-3-3. They're a little more generous than I was. All right, our next diver is Calvin Adams. He'll be doing dive 102B, the forward somersault with a pike. 1.5 DD, makes his approach as you can see. Gets up, slightly over-rotates once again, but that's probably closer to a 4.5. 3, 4, 4.5 for 18 points. Now it is the Panda, Zach Queekle, getting set to do 103B. That's a forward 1.5 somersault with a pike, 1.7. The Zach man makes his approach. He was a little early on the board. It took him, he was a little slow getting the rotation in, but that's probably about a 5. Let's see how the judges score that one. 4, 4, 3.5 for 19.55. Now it's going to be LSA Conda doing the same dive, 103B. He's adjusting the torque right now. He's on the board closest to the 3 officials. Looks over at me, gives me a wink. Now makes his approach. Such a strong, powerful athlete. Nobody gets up higher. That's probably a 5 to 5.5. Let's see how the judges score it. 6, 5, 5 for 27.2. That's going to bring up Carson from Grand Haven doing that same. In fact, Carson and Fidel will finish us off. Carson being the one diver here for the Buccaneers. So you have something to measure it against of what we just saw. He's using the far board closest to us. Got up really nice. Held that tight. That is rock solid. That was definitely better. I'm going to give him a 6 on that one. And the judges agreed. 6, 5.5, 6 for 29.75. And completing round number 1 will be Fidel by Ringaro doing the same dive. Again, you'll have plenty to compare it to. We've seen it the last 4 dives, or last 3 dives, this being the 4th in a row. Fidel got up, looked nice, held it tight. Ooh, with the exception of just an ever rotation, I'm going to give him a 5.5 for me. Let's see how the judges score it. 5.5. I'm going to guess that's not correct on the first judge. They're redoing it now. 5.5s across the board for 28.05. So at the end of the first round, it is 29.75 for Carson. Fidel is in second at 28.05. Now we are going into round number 2. The first 2 divers are exhibition divers, both from Kentwood. Neasley, Ugo Neasley is up first for the Falcons, doing dive 103C, a forward 1.5 somersault with a tuck, 1.6. And he gets in nicely. Let's see how the judges scored that one. 4.5, 5, 5.5 for 24. Very well done. And that's going to bring up Bradley View. He's doing the same 103C. You're going to see a lot of 103Cs and a lot of 105Cs in this round. Round number 2 of 6. Bradley fixes his hair. Takes a deep breath. Blows it out. Makes his approach. Plants well. Gets up high. Again, just a ever so much slight rotation, over rotation. I'm going to give him a 3. 3.5, 3.5, 3 for 16 points. All right, now it's going to be Calvin Adams doing dive 51-22D. That's a forward somersault, full twist, free position. Degree of difficulty here, 1.9. Calvin wastes little time. Gets up. Did he get the full did he get the full twist in? I couldn't see from my angle. Let's see the judges' scores. 3.5, 3.5, 4 for 20.9. Now it's going to bring up Zach K. He's doing dive 104C, the forward double somersault with a tuck. This is a DD of 2.2. Zach with a first big step. Gets the plant, gets up, and he didn't quite get up enough, but that's all right. That's probably a 3.5 to a 4. 3.5, 3.5, 22 points. LSA Conda's second dive is going to be 105C. This is going to end the round, all 105Cs. That's a forward 2.5 somersault with a tuck. They all have a degree of difficulty of 2.4. It'll go LSA Carson and Fidel again. LSA had 27.7 on his first dive. Gosh, he gets high. Oh, that was pretty. That's a 5.5 or a 6 to me. Let's see how the judges score. 6.66 for 43 points. What a dive there. Now it's Carson. Carson was the leader at the end of the first round with a remarkable first dive at 29.75. Now let's see how he is able to throw down the 105C. Makes his way. He's using the opposite board of the homers of Fidel and boy, he got up too a little bit slower on that. I'm gonna say it's close to 5.5 or 6, and he's gonna get 5.5, 5.5, 6, 40.8, and that'll keep him just barely in the lead. All right, that's gonna bring up Fidel. Let's see how Fidel by Ringaro can end this round with that same dive. Obviously, he's seen the 2 previous divers crush it. Now he's gonna do his part. Takes a deep breath. Looks very focused and tense. Hits on well. Oh, that was pretty. That might be the best, folks. I'm going to give that a 6 or 6.5. Judges scores 6.66, 43.2, and the new leader at the end of 2 rounds with a score of 71.25. Fidel by Ringaro. Into the 3rd round we go. Back to Ugo. He's going to be doing dive 302C, a reverse somersault with a tuck, 1.6. Gets up, land, not bad. That's a 4. Let's see the judges' scores. 5, 3.5, 4.5. They're all over the place, but equals out to be about what I said, 20.8. All right, let's see what Bradley's next dive is. That'll be 104C. That's a forward double somersault with a tuck, 2.2 DD. He comes in at 30 points. Takes his time, gets his breath, gets up, got up high. Nice entry. That's a 3.5. Let's see how the judges feel. Wow, they liked it a little better. 4.5, 4 for 27.5. Calvin Adams is up next. He's going to be doing dive 103B, a forward 1.5 somersault with a pike. He wastes no time, gets up. Didn't quite get up high enough, so that's going to flatten him out a little bit. It'll cost him a little. I'm going to give him a 4. The judges go 3, 3, 3.5 for 16.15. Now it's up to Panda. Zach K once again. He's going to be doing dive 301A, a reverse dive straight position 1.8. This has been one he's been working on. Let's see how he hits this one. He has 41 points coming into this dive. He opened a little early, but not bad. I'm going to give him a 4. Judges scores 4.5, 4, 4, 22.5. Now it's Elisei's turn. He's going to be doing actually the same as Carson, 51-32D, a forward 1.5 somersault, full twist, free position, 2.2. He's at 70.4 coming in. He trails his teammate by just under a point. Get up. Oh, my goodness. That's a 6 maybe. Wow, did he hit that one. 5.5, 5.5, 6, 37.4. He's at 107.8. That's going to bring up Carson doing the same dive. Now you get something to compare it to. The pressure is on these last 3 because they are all very similar in their athletic ability and talent. Carson gets set for his turn. Had a bit of a problem, but he got in nice. I like it. That's a 6, a solid 6 from my perspective. 6, 5.5, 5.5, 37.4. That's going to leave it up to Fidel by Ringaro. He's going to end the 3rd round, the halfway mark, with 52-23D, a back somersault, 1.5 twist, free position, 2.3. He gets to the end of the board, takes a deep breath, opens the arms up. Not bad. I'm going to give him a 5.5 on that from me. 5, 5.5, 5.5, 36.8. And that's going to leave him in first place at 108.05. We're into round number 4. Let's see what Ugo's doing. 202C, a back somersault with a tuck, 1.5. Boy, I thought he was going to hit the board on that one. I just lost a life or 2 on that one. Judges scores 5, 5, 4, 21 points. Bradley will be doing 202C. We're going to see, actually this is the only one in this round. I beg your pardon, it's 302C. I'm 1 round ahead. That is going to be the reverse somersault with a tuck, 1.6. Starts his approach. Gets up high, not bad, enters well. I'm going to give him a 4 on that one. 4.5, 4.5, 5. That brings him up to 80 points. Nicely done. Now we go to Calvin Adams. His next dive is going to be the same dive. And then, in fact, that's what Zach's going to do as well next. 302C. Once again, wasting no time like he never does is Calvin Adams. He gets up, knocks it in. That's a 4. And 4s across the board, 19.2. Now let's see how Zach hits this one. Same dive. Plants gets up. He kind of opened a little early. I'm going to knock that down to 3.5, maybe a 4. 3.5, 4, 4, 18.4. Man, judges are listening to me. LSA Conda doing 203B, the back 1.5 somersault with a pike. This has a DD of 2.3. He trails the leader by 0.25. Man, now he gets up high, but he did not quite bring the head back as quick as he would like to. It's probably going to be about a 5, 4.5, 5, and he gets 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 for 27.6. Now Carson doing 401B, an inward dive with a pike, 1.5. Very little margin for error with the lower DD here. Carson is was 0.05 ahead of LSA going into this dive. He hit it nicely. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Let's see how the judges score it. 4, 5.5, 5 for 21.75. And that's going to end the round. Coming up here is Fidel by Ringaro doing 52.25D. The back somersault, 2.5 twist, free position, 2.7. Gets to the end of the board. This has the highest DD we've seen so far today. Fidel takes a deep breath, lets it out. Opens up the arms to the side. Starts the spring action. Gets up. Oh, he didn't quite finish. Let's see, did he get the twists in? That's important. If he didn't, it's a no dive. 3.5, 4.5, 4 for 32.4, and he's going to stay the leader going into round number 5. Hugo up next, doing dive in the first dive of the 5th round is dive 401C, inward dive with a tuck. This has a DD of 1.4. Boom, enters in nicely. Probably a 3, maybe a 2.5. Oh, wow, the judges were a lot generous. 4.5, 4, 4.5 for 18.2. Bradley View is going to be doing dive 202C, a back somersault with a tuck, 1.5. Bradley's had a pretty good day. He's at 80 points coming in here to this 5th round dive. Fixes his hair again, though. It's up, rotates, brings it in. Probably a 4. Let's see the judges' scores. 3.5, 3.5, 2.5, 14.25. Up next is going to be Calvin Adams doing 203C, the back 1.5 somersaults with a tuck. DD on this is 2.0 as he adds the extra half somersault. Ooh, not bad. He was able to just get the hands in front to avoid the nasty plunge, and he's going to get scores of 2.5, 3, 3 for 17. Zach K will be, the Quackle man will be doing 52.21D. Back somersault, half twist, free position. 1.7. He's at 82.45 coming in. Would love to be over 100 after this dive. Not bad. I'm going to give him a 3.5. Can't see if he gets the twists in. 2.5, 3.5, 2.5, 14.45. LSA, who is within 5 points of the leader, is getting set to do 52.33D. That's a back 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, free position, 2.5. This will be the highest DD of this 5th round. First through 3rd place are separated by less than 5 points. That wasn't bad. He had to rush it at the end to finish it, but that's still good enough. 4.5. 4, 4, 4. 30 points brings him up to 165. Carson here's next dive will be 403C, an inward 1.5 somersault with a tuck, 2.2. Carson had 129 points coming in. Gets up high. That was nice. I'm going to give him 5.5 on that one. That was solid. And with that good DD, 5, 5.5, 5, 34 points. And that's going to leave it to our leader through the first, or 3 of the first 4 rounds. It's Fidel by Ringaro doing dive 203B. Back 1.5 somersault with a pike, 2.3. Got up. Oh, that was pretty. That might be the best dive tonight. That's a 6 for me. Let's see how the judges score it. 6, 6, 5.5, 40.25. He's at 180. We go to the 6th and final round here. Ego will be doing his final dive, 402C, an inward somersault with a tuck. 1.6 DD. He's at 101 points coming into this final dive. Got up, got in. 3.5, maybe. Wow, I have been off on the two exhibition divers. He gets 20 to bring him up to 122. Bradley's final dive is going to be the 403C, inward 1.5 somersault with a tuck. The DD goes from 1.6 to 2.2 with that extra half. Not bad. Got up, was able to land it. I'm going to give him a 4, maybe a 4.5 on that one. The judges go 5, 5, 5.5 for 34.1. Ended up with 128. Nicely done, Bradley View. Now Calvin Adams' final dive is going to be 401B. Inward dive with a pike, 1.5. He's at 91 points coming in. Touches the toes, goes in. Little over rotation. That's going to cost him a little, 4.5 maybe. 4.5, 4, 4.5, 19.5, puts him at 110.75. All right, now it is Zach K's final dive, 403C, inward 1.5 somersault with a tuck, 2.2. Panda gets to the end of the board, fixes his suit, fixes his hands, puts his arms to the side. Gets up. Oh, he kicked the legs around. That's going to hurt him a little bit. I'm going to have to knock him down to a 3.5 to a 4. 3.5, 4, 4 for 25.3, but a nice finish at 122.2. LSA up amongst the leaders is going to end with dive 403B. Inward 1.5 somersault with a pike, 2.4 DD. He made the cardinal mistake of looking at the scoreboard to see where he's at in relationship to the first place, which he trails by 15.3. Boy, he's going to help his cause there, though. That was a rock-solid dive with a high DD. Let's see the judges' scores. 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 37.2. He's going to end at 202.6. Carson's final dive is going to be 203C, the back 1.5 somersault with a tuck. He's at 163.8 going in. Nice finish. I'm going to give him a solid 5 on that one. And he's going to get 22 points, bring him up to 185. And our final dive of the evening, Fidel Byringaro, looking to win the meet. He's going to end it with dive 403B, the same as LSA. That's the inward 1.5 somersault with a pike. 2.4 is the DD. He needs to get 22 to take to win this event today. Oh, folks, that's going to do it. Not his best dive of the day. That's probably a 4.5 from my perspective. 4.5, 4, 4, 30 points, puts him at 210.7. And our winner today is Fidel Byringaro. Second place will go to LSA Conda. Third place to Carson Titoff. And with that, we will transition back into swimming. I'll be back with you folks in about 3 minutes. Keep it here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. I'm Joey Sutherlin. My producer and director is the legendary Chase Joseph. We'll be back in just a moment. Keep it here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. All right, sports fans, we are back to action here as we get ready to transition back into swimming. Let me just ever so slightly adjust this. There you go. And we are underway with event number 6, the 100-yard butterfly. Malachi Geems is in lane number 1 for the Falcons. Will Campbell is in lane number 2. Abel Gomez-Romo is in lane number 3. Lane number 4 is Connor Howard. Lane number 5 is Teague Westra. Lane number 6 is Will Boyer. Lane number 7 is Michael Travis. Lane number 8 is Landon Gardner. Taking a look at where we're at here. All right. And it is Teague Westra who goes sub a minute at 56:28, gets first. Second place is Abel Gomez-Romo with a 59:64. Sub minute is second. Third place Connor Howard at 1:00.1 is third. Boyer is fourth at 1:01:52. 1:07 for Michael Travis is fifth. Sixth place is Will Campbell at 1:11:07. Seventh place Landon Gardner. And Malachi, 1 moment in time. Geems takes the final position with a time of 1:26:07. And that's going to bring us into the first of 2 heats here of the 100-yard freestyle. In the first heat, it's going to be Brandon Klingensmith in lane number 1 for Grand Haven. Lane number 2 is Gus Purton for East Kentwood. Lane number 3 is Soren Bolton for Grand Haven. Lane number 4 is Liam Plemon from Grand Haven. Lane number 5 is Cooper Lyro from Grand Haven. Lane number 6, 7, and 8, all from East Kentwood, are Alpha Kappa, Benedi Kanda, and Ahmed Elkwad. It got really quiet in here. It's almost eerie. It scares me, and I'm fearless. All right, now the officials look like they've figured out whatever potential problem we had. You don't have to tell this crowd to be quiet for the start. It is, you can hear the crickets. Ooh. And there we go. They're off to see the wizard. 100-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 2. We do not have seed times again. But it looks like our leader is in, oh, it is real close. I'm going to say right now lane 3, which will be Soren Bolton. But on his heels are his teammates Liam Plemon and Cooper Lyro. And not far off the paces, and in fact he took third place, is Brandon Klingensmith. So this could be a 1 through 4 for Grand Haven in this heat. Heading home right now. Looks like now our leader is in lane number 3. That's going to be Soren Bolton. And I beg your pardon, in lane number 4, Liam Plemon, who is going to take the tape with a time of 1:03:23. Second place, Cooper Lyro at 1:04:57. Third place, 1:04:69. Boy, was second and third rock close. Soren Bolton. Fourth place is going to go to Brandon Klingensmith. Fifth place to Alpha Kappa with a nice 1:13:17. Let's see who's going to get 5th, 6th, and 7th. I beg your pardon, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Looks like it's going to be Ahmad. Nope, it is Kanda who gets 6th, although there was not a good touch there for Ahmad, so we'll have to wait to see. And Gus Buster finishes rock solid himself with a 1:04:50. That'll bring us to the championship heat of the 100-yard freestyle. In lane number 1 from East Kentwood, it's Logan Patrick. In lane number 2 for Grand Haven, the sophomore, Ethan Hoffmeyer. And lane number 3, the super senior for Kentwood, Gabrielle, the Italian Stallion Pissarro. Lane number 4, Trayson Johnson, the junior from Grand Haven. James Langash for the Falcons is a junior in lane number 6. Luke Radke for the Buccaneers is a freshman in lane 6. Darius Nassaup, the sophomore for the Falcons, is in lane 7. And finally, Noah Bytwerk, the sophomore for Grand Haven, is in lane 8. Coming up on the first flip turn, too close to call from my angle. Let's see straight ahead right now. I'm going to say lane number 5, which is James Langash. Between Langash, Johnson, and Pissarro, it's really close at the halfway mark. It's Pissarro 24.62, and Langash 25.14, Johnson 25.35 as they're coming back the other way. Pissarro opens it up a little bit, coming up on the last flip turn, hits the wall. Here they come home. Now the battle right now looks like it's for second place, and the Falcons might go a 1-2 here once again. Inside the flags, can he go sub 50, 49, and oh, just missing at 51.23, 52.93, and then 54.29. So it's Pissarro, the Italian Stallion, with his second W of the day. He won the 50. Now he's won the 100-yard freestyle. Congratulations, James Langash, with a very respectable 52.93 is second, and again, Trayson Johnson with a remarkable third at 54.29. All right, sit right back and relax because now it's time for the 500-yard freestyle. Let's take a look at the lineup here. I'm going to step out real quickly after I get you this, and then we'll have the finish for you. In lane number 1, from Kentwood, the freshman, Marcus Finkbeiner. In lane number 2, also a freshman for Grand Haven, it'll be Elliot. Ooh, I thought I had a mistake. Elliot Hauser Bryden. Lane number 3, the sophomore for the Falcons, Shane Fandrich. Lane number 4, the junior for Grand Haven, Owen Cucci. Lane number 5, the senior for the Falcons, Andrew Callahan. Lane number 6, the senior for Grand Haven, Ryan Brown. And lane number 7, it is the freshman for the Falcons, Philip Westervelt. And finally, it is the sophomore for Grand Haven in lane number 8, Jack Jurevsek, I beg your pardon. Coming up on the first lap, the leader is Cucci at 27.83, and we'll be right back. Keep it here, folks, on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. If you have not done so already, please like and subscribe. We'll be back. All right, folks, Joey Sutherlin back with you here. Hope you're able to follow along using both the scoreboard and the camera here to see who's doing what. Right now it looks like it is lane number 6 is our leader, Ryan Brown, at 3:10.70, just ahead of his teammate, Owen Cucci, who's at 3:11. You will know when we're down to the last lap. I'm not sure if we're using a bell or an air horn today. I did not peek. All right. Still 1-2 is Brown and Cucci. Now their difference is less than 0.05 of a second. So they are literally stroke for stroke with each other. Let's see where they're at. All right, that's at the 15th wall touch. They got 5 to go here. So that means when they hit the wall the next time, they have their final 100 to go. That is the yard 400 right there, and it's still Brown over Cucci, 117.12 to 118.02. So now it's 0.9 of a second. $75 yards to go. Opening up his lead slate. Oh, baby. That is, they did use the foghorn leghorn here, and that lets Ryan Brown know that he has 50 yards to go. We are not going to see a sub-5 tonight, but we're still seeing some decent times. Opening up his lead with his final 25 to go is Ryan Brown. Now I guess the battle comes for third place. Third and fourth now in this one are going to be very important. Ryan Brown goes 5:21.41 for first. Owen Cucci goes 5:24.06 for second. Third place, I think, is going to be Andrew Callahan at 5:37.55. Fourth place is Shane Fandrich, 5:42. Fifth place is Elliot Hauser Bryden, followed by Marcus Finkbinder for sixth place. And now it's going to be seventh place for Jack and eighth place for Phillip, respectively. That was actually a fun race there for the 500. Westervelt was hoping to go sub 6:15. He's going to be close. I beg your pardon, sub. Yep, he was hoping to go sub 7 minutes is now what I was looking at. He's got 25 to go. The crowd is continuing to cheer him on. This is the romantic side of swimming that I still love. Doesn't matter if it's the girls in the fall, the boys here in the winter. People cheer for whether you're in first place or you will be the last person in a particular heat. It's not always you versus your competitors. It's you versus the clock. And he went 6:52, and that's absolutely something to be proud of. First sub 7-minute. And that's going to bring us into the sprint relay, or the 200-yard freestyle relay. Let's take a look at who we have in this one. First, the C relay for Grand Haven will be in lane number 2. The B relay for East Kentwood will be in lane number 3. The A relay for Grand Haven is in 4. The A relay for Kentwood is in lane 5. The B relay for Grand Haven is in 6. The C relay for Kentwood is in lane 7. And the D relay for Grand Haven is in lane 8. Oh, they're looking for Gus Buster. You got to take off his parka and hustle over there. Gus is just such a wonderful young man. We had him as a manager in water polo, and he's swimming here in the high school. And this is just, He's such a joy to have on the team. And they're off. Here we go. And this is a very important. And that actually reminded me. Let's take a look at what the MISCA time is for this one. All right. It looks like right now lane 5 with a decent lead. About a body length and a half. That's the second leg, which I believe is Gomez Romo after the start by Pissarro for the Grand Haven A. It was Ruster leading off, followed by Johnson. Now we're into the third leg, which is Nassib for Kentwood and Connor Howard. Connor Howard is really cutting into the lead here. Who are the anchor swimmers? It's going to be Callahan for Kentwood and Cucci for Grand Haven. East Kentwood at 1:13.21. It's a 2-second lead. Can Callahan hold on to that? Coming up on the final flip turn here. The senior for the Falcons has about a body length and a half lead, but cutting into it is Grand Haven. Getting onto the flags. I think it'll be enough time to hold on inside the flags. 3 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard. Hit the wall. 137.97. That's about a second and a quarter off the MISCA mark, but a fine swim nonetheless. Let's congratulate the swimmers there. The Gabriel Pissarro, Abel Gomez Romo, Darius Nassib, and Andrew Callahan for the Falcons. They go 137.97. And they take first place. We still have a battle right now for 7th and 8th place, respectively. It's pretty close between the East Kentwood C and the Grand Haven D. This will be our next event. Coming up is going to be event number 10, the 100-yard backstroke. And we're finished there. There might have been a disqualification as the officials are having a conversation. This is very important here. "100-yard backstroke." We'll find out the official results here in a moment. Let's take a look at our backstrokers. In lane number 1, it's Michael Travis, the senior for Kentwood. Lane number 2, the freshman for Grand Haven, Will Campbell. Lane number 3, the senior captain for the Falcons, and Chase Sutherlin, who also, by the way, turns 18 today. Congratulations and happy birthday, Chase Sutherlin. Ryan Brown is the senior from Grand Haven. He'll be in lane number 4. James Langash is the junior for the Falcons in lane 5. Braylon Garland is the senior for Grand Haven in 6. Christian Perez Lissay is the freshman for the Falcons in lane 7. And Liam Deaton is a freshman for the Buccaneers in lane 8. And they're off. Here we go. Still waiting to see if they've made it official. Now they have. And there was a DQ, but it didn't affect anything as I thought it might. All right, taking a look right now at the end of the first 25. Coming up on the back half of the 100-yard backstroke. Coming up on the final flip turn, it looks like it's James Langash. Then Chase Sutherlin, although it's pretty close, with down in lane 7. as Christian is really on par as well. Coming up on the 1 minute mark inside the flags. And it will be 1:00:78, 1:01:96, and 1:03:16. Holy guacamole, Batman. Those are some great times there. I will wish Chase a happy birthday again. It is a perk, even the public address announcer. But congratulations, Junior James Langesh. You won the 100-yard backstroke with that 1:00:78. All right, now we're going into the, wow, folks, we just missed 2 Miska cuts on that backstroke. I'm pretty sure we'll get those in the next week or so. Both Langash, who missed it by 1/10 of a second, and Sutherlin by less than a second. All right, we're into the breaststroke here. And a big shout out to somebody enjoying the stream in Denver, Colorado, David Hines. Thanks for joining us here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. You are definitely up there in the running for the fan of the year, although 2024 just started, so it's not really that big of an accomplishment yet. Let's take a look at who we got here in the 100-yard breaststroke. Drew Gehring is in lane number 1. Landon Gardner's in lane number 2. Calvin Tron's in 3. Levi Ruster's in lane number 4. Mikoy Christensen's in 5. Jack Jervisek is in lane 6. Malachi Geems is in 7. And Val Miller is in lane 8. Coming up on the back 50, it's a comfortable lead right now for Levi Ruster. In second place right now, it looks like Mikoy Christensen, but hot on his heels is Calvin Tron. Then the real battles for 4th place, and I can't tell you for sure who's going to win that. There are 3 people that have a legitimate shot at it. Congratulations, though, Levi Ruster. You won the 100-yard breaststroke today with a time of 1:07:41. Second place, Mikoy Christensen, 1:11:14. Third place, Calvin Tron, 1:12:53. Fourth place, Drew Gehring, the freshman, goes a 1:18:68. Fifth place, Landon Gardner, 1:18:88. Sixth place of Val Miller at 1:18:91. And folks, that's going to bring us to the final event of the day, the 400-yard freestyle relay. We'll have one and only heat here, and it's like it's been for all the relays. Grand Haven will have a D relay, but the Grand Haven C is in lane 2, the Grand Haven A is in lane 4, the Grand Haven B is in lane 6, and the Grand Haven D is in lane 8. For the Falcons, in lane number 3, it's the B for East Kentwood. Lane number 5 is the A, and lane number 7 is the C. See if I can take a peek and find out if we have a kind of a heads up on what the score is here. Also a shout out to my dear friend and one of the best families I know, the Wiltrout family, led by the patriarch, of course, Kevin Wiltrout. Thank you for watching us also on the Biscuit in the Basket Network, and he wishes Chase Sutherlin a happy birthday as well. All right, here we go. The leadoff swimmers here in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer will swim 100 yards. I want to look, though, still trying to see the score. If we have every, we don't, but. It is pretty close coming on to the back 50 right now. On the first, the leadoff. Oh, we had a DQ. I didn't notice. We'll get back to that in the backstroke. Falcons are with a very comfortable lead right now into the second leg. And who is that in the second leg of the A relay for Kentwood? That's Andrew Callahan now. after Teague Westra started us off. Owen Akuchi started off Grand Haven. He's been replaced now by Connor Howard as they're both on their back 50s. The lead's gotten a little closer here. Keeping an eye on this right now. Getting ready to go to the third leg here. And Gomez Romo's now in the water. And in the water for, it will be Trayson Johnson in for the Buccaneers. And this is still, they can run him down, swim him down here. What a great flip turn there by Johnson. Pulls himself back within a body length of the leader. The third legs both have another 50 to go here. And then it'll be the anchor swimmers, the Falcons right now at 2:16.16, 2:19.59 for the Grand Haven, the A's respectively. Gomez Romo, the captain for the Falcons. Oh, he missed that flip turn. Didn't completely, not to be disqualified, but he certainly was a little early on that one, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. But he gets ready to transition into the anchor swimmer here, James Langosh, and there it goes. There's the transition there at 2:46.63. What is the MISCA time? Let me go double check that. The MISCA time is, holy cow, 3:34. That's a very, very, that's going to be a tough run. We're not going to see it today for sure. We're at 3:12. So if he holds that, it's going to be about a 3:40. And that will be about 5 or 6 seconds off the MISCA time. And it might even be a little slower than that because it looks like James is starting to, I said that, but then that was a good turn. Let's see, we're at 3:35, 36. If they're under 3:42, 3:42.68. 3:42.68. So that's about 8 seconds off the MISCA mark. So they'll have to each drop 2 seconds there. But congratulations to the East Kentwood team of Teague Westra, Andrew Callahan, Abel Gomez-Romo, and James Langosh. They take first place in the 400-yard freestyle. So now all we got to find out is what our final score will be. Well, we still want to let these young men and their respective relays finish off, and we have a that's one you don't see every day. That's probably going to be a DQ. We're still watching the relay of Westervelt, Purton, Kaba, and Conda finish up here for the Falcons. And I love the fact that everybody is cheering them on to the very last second. And hitting the wall. Whoa, what a good strong finish there. And that will complete our race tonight. And now we're just waiting, as I said, to find out our final score. right, we're all right, our final score, East Kentwood 157, the Buccaneers of Grand Haven 122. An exciting race it was. Congratulations to both teams. We saw some really good swims and some great diving tonight. The two teams competed very, very well, and impressed with what we saw tonight. That's going to just about wrap it up. I want to wish everybody be safe this weekend with the potential blizzard we're going to have in West Michigan, and for that part, most of Michigan. But we want to thank you again for joining us. If you have not done so already, I humbly and wholeheartedly request that 167-130. Apparently my score was off, but 167-130, the Falcons get the W, their first W in the OK Red Conference this season. But tip your cap once again to Grand Haven. They put up a great swim, and it was a fun meet. So thank you for joining us, folks. Please be safe this weekend. Don't drive silly. And most importantly, tune us back in. We'll be back on the air 2 weeks from today when the Falcons will duke it out with Jenison. Until then, for my director and producer, Chase Joseph, I'm Joey Sutherlin. Thanks for watching, everybody, once again on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. Until next